I think that, again, it looks to me like Te-Hina Paopao threw herself out of the play after hacking Caitlin Clark. She hacked Caitlin Clark, overcommitted, and threw herself out of the play. That's what it looks.
Did you catch what just happened to Caitlin Clark? The referees made one of the worst calls we've ever seen in basketball. Now, new footage reveals that it wasn't just a bad call, it was completely wrong. The video doesn't lie. When Clark was called for an offensive foul against Te-Hina Paopao, everyone watching sensed something was off. But what the cameras captured from a different angle is surprising. Paopao was actually grabbing Clark's jersey and initiating the contact. The WNBA referees aren't just missing calls, they're making serious mistakes.
So the whole Te-Hina Paopao Caitlin Clark situation is just mad. It's just mad, and I'm not joking when I say this. Like, there is now a new angle that shows I don't even think in the whole push-off situation Caitlin Clark pushed off. I actually don't think that she actually pushed off.
Hey, have you seen this new footage that's got everyone talking? It totally flips everything we thought we knew about the Caitlin Clark and Te-Hina Paopao play. Let's dive into what really happened on the court, because this is unbelievable.
If you look at this clip right here, let's watch this. Let's watch this right here. So, we're going to watch it in full speed. Paopao is on her. Paopao grabs her hip, and that happens.
Clark clearly drives past Paopao on the play. That part is obvious. Clark gains an advantage, leaving her defender behind, while Paopao is caught in an awkward defensive stance, trying to catch up. Now, here's where things get interesting. During the game, the refs called an offensive foul on Clark, claiming she pushed off with her arm, but the new camera angle reveals a very different version of events.
Te-Hina Paopao is not a good enough defender to play flat like this, and she knows that. She got caught. So what does she do? Two hands on Caitlin Clark's jersey. Two hands on Caitlin Clark's jersey. Then she goes around the hip, and then continues to grab her jersey.
When you watch from this alternate angle, it becomes clear what really happened. Paopao grabs Clark's jersey first. She firmly clutches the fabric and pulls Clark back before any contact is made by Clark. It's not subtle at all. You can clearly see Paopao's fingers gripping and twisting the jersey as she struggles to recover from her difficult defensive spot. This is a classic defensive foul, yet somehow the call was made completely wrong.
You see here, so Caitlin's trying to blow by Te-Hina Paopao. Te-Hina Paopao is caught in a really weird defensive position where she's forcing nowhere. She's just playing flat. And like normally on someone like Caitlin, normally on a guard that's quick and can burn you gotta force.
Yes, Clark's arm did extend slightly, but now it's clear this was a natural reaction to being grabbed and pulled backward. Wouldn't anyone do the same if their shirt was suddenly yanked while they were running? That's not an offensive foul, it's just basic physics and human instinct responding to being pulled during a drive.
Caitlin is past her. You can see her legs past her. Caitlin is past Te-Hina Paopao here. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Caitlin is past Te-Hina Paopao here. No extension. Te-Hina Paopao is stopping her with her arms. Her arms like this on the jersey, stopping her.
The video doesn't lie. When you watch this play frame by frame, there's absolutely no question who initiated the contact. Paopao was beaten on the play and resorted to grabbing Clark's jersey to slow her down. This is some of the worst refereeing we've ever seen in basketball. Seriously, this might be one of the worst missed calls in basketball history.
So Caitlin here, Caitlin's already, by the way, taken her hand off Te-Hina Paopao. She's already past Te-Hina Paopao, and then there is an arm extension. In fairness, there is an arm extension, but a very small arm extension.
The video tells the truth. When you watch this play frame by frame, there's no doubt about who started the contact. Paopao was clearly beaten on the play and grabbed Clark's jersey to try to slow her down. This is some of the poorest refereeing we've seen in basketball. Honestly, it might go down as one of the worst missed calls in the sport's history.
Like Te-Hina Paopao, because she's in such bad defensive position, is already, look at where her feet is before the contact. Before Caitlin Clark makes contact, look at what she's doing with her right leg. She's throwing herself out of the play anyway. She's overcommitting to that, and she gets caught.
This wasn't simply a missed call where the referees overlooked something. It was a total reversal of what really happened right before their eyes. They saw contact and instantly blamed Clark, when in fact she was the one fouled. The new footage makes it clear. The refs got it completely wrong. Paopao should have been called for a defensive foul for grabbing the jersey, no doubt about it.
But like, There's barely a push-off. Paupa was in a bad defensive stance. Caitlin got by her. She hacked. The only reason Caitlin didn't burn her to the basket was because she hacked Caitlin. She then had to overcommit on getting back. It's not an offensive foul, and if it's an offensive foul, the offensive foul comes way after the defensive foul.
Calls like this mean more than just a single play. They highlight a bigger issue. It's a clear example of how the refs seem to view Clark differently compared to other players on the court. Clark barely makes contact and gets slapped with an offensive foul, while Pau Pau can grab jerseys freely without any consequence.
Even if it wasn't for the hand, I don't think that that's enough for push-off to call an offensive foul, especially when the defensive player is off balance. I'm sorry. Like, when you are playing basketball, we've all done it. You have to sometimes make a little bit of contact with your arm. Just like as a defender, there's always going to be a little bit of contact.
Basketball analysts agree this call was a clear mistake. The offensive foul on Clark doesn't add up when it's obvious she's simply reacting to being held back. Sure, Clark might need to be more controlled with her movements in general, but in this instance, she was just responding to being grabbed. The referees completely missed the real play, penalizing the wrong player and sending the wrong message about what contact is acceptable on the court. Sadly, when it comes to Caitlin Clark, this isn't an isolated case.
Obviously, look, when anything happens with Caitlin Clark, more light is brought to it, but it was really bad. Like, it was really, really bad watching the game yesterday, and it happens all.
Why does it feel like Caitlin Clark is playing by a different set of rules than everyone else on the court? That's the question on everyone's mind after watching the preseason game against the Dream. This goes beyond a single bad call. It's part of a pattern that's becoming impossible to overlook.
You've got fans complaining about Caitlin Clark pushing off, but then they're like using the Pau Pau clip and they're like, oh, look at her pushing off here. She's like, that's awful. Just watching her push off. But I'm like, Pau Pau's literally holding her, two hands holding her jersey. It's not even hand check, holding her jersey with two hands, and the ref's not calling anything.
Throughout the game, Clark was repeatedly hacked, grabbed, and fouled without a single whistle from the officials. And this isn't minor contact, Wenix. We're talking about defenders double-teaming her, grabbing her jersey, and at times nearly tackling her, all while the refs stayed silent. How is that even allowed? Yes, physical defense is a natural part of basketball, and no one expects a foul to be called every time there's contact. But the issue here is clear. Clark isn't getting the same calls as other players on the very same court during the same game. This raises serious questions about what might be going on with these officials.
And obviously, we saw as well, Caitlin, it was like double hand check the whole way down the floor. They were just grabbing her jersey. It wasn't even hand checking, they were just grabbing her jersey. There are freedom of movement rules. And then Ryan Howard plows through Caitlin. Caitlin goes up straight, no call. Foul on Caitlin. And then I saw other times where players were literally just hacking and getting away.
Multiple plays, even from other games, show Clark being double hand checked and having her jersey grabbed without a single call. When was the last time you saw a star player treated like this? Defenders are literally grabbing her jersey with both hands, and the refs just stand by as if it's completely normal. This creates an incredibly unfair playing environment, and it's no joke.
I don't know how. I don't know where this whistle was. I don't know what happened. Because they went from calling every little thing that may or may not have been a foul to letting away hacks in the same game, in the same half.
During fast breaks, Clark was constantly knocked around without any whistles from the referees. But here's the twist. That same level of contact led to immediate foul calls when other players were involved. How do you explain such inconsistency? Plays that were clear fouls against others somehow became clean plays when Clark was the one being fouled.
In the same half, the referees let away 4 to 5 hacks. Again, not fouls, like, we're trying to stop you from scoring, let's hack. They let away multiple of them while calling fouls where no one touched them. It's embarrassing that you watch every single game and you're like, not only are there players here that are there are players getting away with straight up, it's not. Even in the playoffs last year, do we not remember when Caitlin Clark is shooting a layup and she's in the air and Marina Mabry commits a block, a hit on the arm, a blocking foul, like a whatever hit on the arm foul, everything. She just comes late and is like, Caitlin's not getting a layup. Jumps sideways into her, takes her arms out, knocks Caitlin on the ground, and then stops because she knows she's fouled. And the referees are like, I think that might have. And then again, how the referees didn't call anything with the eye shot, with the eye poke. It is flagrant 1 minimum. And then you can argue, We can argue again about the intent of it. I don't really care at this stage. But even like complete accident, it is a minimum of a flagrant one. A minimum. I'm just it's just mad. It's all around just mad, like what is happening in the WNBA, because it's not exclusive to one player or another. It's not the leagues being physical. The standard refereeing is terrible. Our referees are better than WNBA referees. And every single pro that's ever set foot in Ireland will tell you that in their entire pro career, the worst referees were in Ireland. And it's it's just something that is just unacceptable in the league at this level. Could there have been contact? Sure. But I've never, this is some of the worst refereeing I've ever seen, to not call it defensive foul here. Some of the worst refereeing I have seen in my lifetime. This is one of the worst missed calls I think I've ever seen in basketball. This is not just a hand check. This is a double. So the WNBA has a refereeing problem. And we can be very honest when talking about that. The WNBA, no ifs, ands, or buts about it, has a severe refereeing problem. But the worst one was, DeWanna Bonner, the ball lands in DeWanna Bonner's hands. DeWanna Bonner scores a layup, and she just gets knocked over. She gets knocked over. They don't call a foul on either. And then the next possession, Alicia Gray is running the break, and Aaliyah Boston, or maybe it was Natasha Howard, I don't know, literally hacks Alicia Gray, tries to stop her from even getting a shot up, just hacks, and Alicia Gray scores the layup. No call. No call. I think we witnessed in a one sequence 4 blatant or 3 blatant one, the offensive foul on Caitlin was not an offensive foul. There was a 50-50 call miss and 2 blatant fouls. Blatant. And I mean it, blatant. And I saw it in the Sky game as well. There were players that were getting caught on, say someone caught an offensive rebound or got post position, and they were just slapping their arm in the Sky and Lynx game. No call. No call. There were slap downs on the arm that weren't being, we were seeing phantom foul. It's not even that, it's physical. It's either we call fouls that do not, where no one's anywhere near anybody. Someone will miss a layup and it's a foul. And Aaliyah Boston, every time Aaliyah Boston in that first quarter missed an open layup, and again, this is just because I watched all of the Caitlin Clark games. There were so many bad calls. There were so many. It's not even funny how many missed calls there were on players. The standard is so bad. And again, I'm just giving Caitlin Clark example because I watched every single Caitlin Clark game last year and I made videos on this call. There were, no matter what game you watched, I can't remember specific scenarios, but there were how many times in the Sky game last night for both teams where players were literally just getting hacked.